go live after being absent for a month and take another trip over here to Fairview Park. It is a little chilly this morning. Right now we're walking around what they call Dreamland Lake. I think it was back in the early 1900s when it would really get cold here. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, 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 quack. Duckies are going crazy. But anyway, back in the early 1800s, when this pond would freeze over, when we did have really cold weather, kind of similar to Canada, they used to skate on this pond. There also used to be a bridge going over the center of this pond, but of course they got rid of that. And just right up here on top of this hill, there's a tennis court up there. And back in the 70s, we used to come over here and look for tennis balls. There actually was one sitting back there on the ledge, but I don't really want it or need it, so. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised if you go into this here tall grass. There may be some hiding in there. There used to be all kinds of them in this water. There used to be a transfer house replica right here for the ducks to nest in, but it was apparently falling apart, so they took it out of there. I'm really surprised they have not cut the grass in that little island there. But this park, this area here has really kind of changed a lot, and they've redid they put this retaining wall in and redid the sidewalk and redid that bridge over there. Well, morning, Rachel. I know the leaves aren't changing yet, but I thought I'd come out here and check to see, because it is autumn time, as you know, and I haven't live streamed for over a month. I've just been busy and haven't had time, and sometimes I just kind of get tired of showing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, we used to call this the Troll Bridge. I've fished here a lot over the years, especially when I was a teenager. I got the sun shining in my eyeballs, and I think if you're 16 and under, you can fish here without a fishing license, but I don't think you can. They kind of frown upon people over the age of 16 fishing in here. It is still kind of slightly chilly out, not to the point where I'll need a jacket or anything. But yeah, there used to be a little transfer house right there. There is a couple ducks in there. There might be more, but I can see two of them. And they're not taking very good care of that island, though. But they took it out of there because the weather was just basically rotting it away. Today I got my phone connected to the gimbal to keep it charged, and then I'll put my charger on the gimbal once it starts to go out, because my phone battery is getting so old that I have to keep it charged all the time now. Eventually I'll get me a new phone. There's a lot of duck poo on the sidewalk, so I'm trying to keep from stepping on it. But I think I need to do like Drew and get a microphone and hook it up to my phone to give it a little bit more of a bass sound instead of a kind of a tinny sound. But we'll walk throughout the park. Hopefully more people will show up. If not, they'll just have to watch the replay. But we'll hit the trail here. I'm sure there's probably other people live streaming that they are watching as well. My gimbal was acting up this morning. I had a hard time getting everything hooked up. I even had to take my phone out of the case, which I didn't want to, because the connection cable that I can put on here to charge off the gimbal would not connect into my phone with that case on there. And I'm not going to take it off out of the gimbal until I get in my truck, because I'm not going to drop this one. This is all I got. And I use my phone for work as well. But this trail's been here for several years now. And let me pan up a little bit here. We do have a lot of trees dying off. I don't know why they don't come over here and cut them down. They're just basically a bird perch. There used to be a house that sat, I think, right up here on this hill. And I don't know if they were the caretaker of the park, but I knew the guy that lived there. I don't remember his name today, but I hung out with him a little bit. This park used to have more to offer, especially back in the 1980s, but they got rid of a lot of stuff. Oh, this is new. Let's check this out. I don't know what this is all about. Oop, I panned down here. I've never seen this before. I wonder what this is all about. Well, they could have put a... Let me get this in there. They could have put a little plaque right here to tell you what this was all about, but apparently they're going to be growing a tree, and they got that little angel statue there. But yeah, interesting. It looks like they have been cutting some trees down. I really don't use the full potential of this gimbal. It is kind of screwing up on me today, kind of making me mad. It's got a button on here where I can take pictures if I set it that way. And I can also make it to where I can set it down and it'll follow me everywhere I go. Some of these trees, they got markers on them to let you know what kind of tree it is. I actually really expected to see more people show up, because I have been going to other live streams and saying, hey, I'm going to be live at 10 a.m. Central Time. But I guess everybody got a little busy. This thing's been moving off to the right by itself. And I got to keep moving it back. I did charge it this morning. I haven't been here in, I don't know, several months. See how it keeps moving to the right. I don't know why. With 5G coming out, they're kind of taking over the bandwidth. So in my LTE iPhone 6, I don't have the reception like I should, and I want to go to Allerton Park, just north of us, and I wanted to live stream there, but I may have to film it. But I want to get a GoPro before I do that. See how the flowers are faring over here. I'm sure they're not bloomed out anymore. Squirrels are out looking for their nuts they buried. With the cold weather starting to come here, I think we got one more warm up coming, and then it's going to start getting a little cool. So he's a digging, looking for his stuff. There's some flowers over here, still bloomed out. These flowers get really big. They got these over by Lake Decatur, and they get as bigger than my hand when they bloom out. And a little bit of them down here. The only reason why I come here a lot is because the tower is real close by, and I know I'll get a signal. Which is funny, because when I went to this new water park that we have, the tower was right across the street, and for some reason my phone wasn't picking it up very well, and I didn't have very good reception. Let's see, right across the highway here, right over there, is a cemetery. And I think it runs about here. And my house is actually right across the street. So you got a major highway right here. It comes into Decatur, and then this highway will take you to Springfield, Illinois. And so I'm basically right on the edge of town and away from a lot of stuff. So I either have to drive there or walk a long ways or ride a bike or bus it. I don't think we have any taxis anymore. Or at least they haven't been running during this whole pandemic thing. But this area over here is the West End, what we call the West End. This is where all the kind of really nice homes are, unless you go out north to Forsyth, and that's where all your really big expensive homes are at. Well, besides some of them around the lake, but a lot of people who live in the West End here are actually starting to sell their homes and move out, and I hope this neighborhood over here doesn't ever go to crap. There's a lot of nice, expensive homes here. But we're going to come up here to the next bridge, the next troll bridge. This road that it goes over, you go on down and we'll get there, and it took you to the pool that everybody would go to, but they closed that down because they built that new one out by the lake. And I've been out there. It's pretty nice. There's a lot to do in there, but I think it was a little expensive, but you do have a lot to do. Now this trail, it branches out in different directions. So it goes west, it goes south, and it goes like a northeast. And I've rode every inch of it on my bike, and round trip running the whole thing is almost 20 miles. It's very quiet back here, and to the left of me is where homes are. And I hope I don't start losing signal back in this way. It's been pretty good so far. I am keeping an eye on my my light on my gimbal, so if it starts turning red, blinking red, that means I got to plug in my battery pack. But as you can see around me, the trees aren't changing yet. We probably got about another month to go before they really start changing. Some of the trees, because of the lack of rain that we've had lately, the leaves have been drying up and dying off and falling, and get up here, we get to the end of this trail, it takes us to the Bikini Tree, and we'll see what somebody's painted on there, what kind of bikini's painted on there this time, because it's always changing. People come over here in the middle of the night and they'll paint on the tree a new bikini. It's kind of became a Decatur landmark. I know there's not much to see on this trail. I have tried to live stream out at Rock Springs Center, which is west of here. The trail will take you to there, but I lose signal out there. This part of the trail there is, well, we got a bridge coming up, and if I keep walking, there's probably about 2 more bridges going over Sangamon River, I think it is. sure I'll get people coming in and out of the live stream. And actually there's a house right over here that has a swimming pool, and the people that live around this house, they help maintain it. They pay a fee to these people and they help maintain it. And back in, of course, the 80s, when I was a teenager, I dated a girl who lived in this area, and her family helped maintain that swimming pool, and I got to swim in it. I think it was only one time. It's a pretty cool pool. Well, we're almost there to this bridge, just right around this bend. Oh, here it is. This is where the pool is, right here. You can probably kind of see a little bit of blue right there, so that's where that pool is. Looks like they haven't taken care of it for the end of the season yet, because it looked like there was some water in there. I'm sure they'll get to it. But this is the way I used to walk to go to the pool for the park when I was a lot younger. And I always get yelled at by my mother because I'd come home and I'm all sunstroked and tired from swimming all day. I go home and go to bed because I'm tired from all that, and sunburnt. I'm surprised there's not more people walking on the trail this early in the morning, being as cool as it is, because I think it's like, Fahrenheit wise, I think it's like in the middle 50s the last time I checked. I think it was like 55 degrees. There is one part of this trail further west. It does get a little creepy when you're walking it. Yeah, we're getting closer to the bridge down here. Then we'll go and see the Bikini Tree. They were fixing up this park for a while there, and then they quit because nobody was going to Nelson Park by the lake. So they started taking their money and started fixing up that park to try and entice people to go there, but I think they should have done more to this one. Most of this trail needs to be redone. It's falling apart. So here we are coming up to the bridge. Sometimes it gets to be a pretty tight squeeze when other people are coming from the other direction, especially when you're on a bike. They redid this bridge. This has got brand new wood on it. Oop, let me go down here. It's got brand new wood. So they totally have redone this bridge. There's, I don't know if you can see how far down we are, but we're pretty far up here, or far up we are. I think they probably could have made this thing about 2 feet wider. I'm sure they could have done that. Alright, we're almost to the Bikini Tree. Since we round this bend, it'd be right down there in the bottom. So right up there is the old swimming pool. Which I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but I haven't been there for a long time, so they did redo some of it. All right. I can hear some bike brakes coming. We're going to walk down this little hill here without trying to... Alright, yep, here it is. They painted it purple with blue dots. So there you go, folks. There was the infamous Bikini Tree. I can get the sun out of my eyes. Right there is the infamous Bikini Tree. Somebody painted a smiley face up there. I've never really seen it painted all the way up this part. Usually it's just right here. So yeah, this tree's got so much paint on it, it's not even funny. I'm really surprised that storms haven't knocked it down even further than that it's grown. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's so much paint on that, and this has been going on for years. And of course, there's your dirty river right here. You know, you would think they would come and clean this out and make this waterway a little better than what it is. So, but yeah, that's the infamous Bikini Tree right there. The thing's been around for as long as I can remember, so it's had a lot of bikinis. We'll take a walk up here to the old swimming pool. Well, morning, Mambo. Glad you could stop by. So we got everybody likes to exercise going up and down this stairs. Now the trail, of course, it goes up that way like we went, and then it branches off that direction and heads. In fact, it looks like they might have re-blacktopped some of this, because this down here was getting really bad, unless they just kind of repainted it. We'll walk this way a little bit. This is a really good park. I think they really need to do more to it than what they have. Oh yeah, they redid this part. That's good, because this was really crumbling right here. So I am happy that they took money and redid this part. But they probably should put a line down the center of it. And it's more for cycling. You can walk on it as well, but when you got people walking on it, they get mad when cyclists come up behind them, and because when they walk, they want to take up the whole thing. And it's like, dude, this is a two-way street. So yeah, I'm happy they redid this. You come off of that hill up there, and all of a sudden your bike's just bouncing like crazy because it was really tearing up. Says we got 3 people here, but only two people's commented. So whoever the third person is, hello, welcome. the temperature is starting to go up a little bit. It is a little warmer than what it was. I got to get my bike fixed. Hopefully next year I'll get that thing. It's got needs new tires and brakes, and I mean a total overhaul. So I got a $500 bike sitting in my backyard that's basically rusting away, and I'm not doing anything about it. Now see, they stopped. This is crazy. So they stopped right here, and really they should have kept going, because this part is really starting to fall apart as well. So it looks like all they did was kind of just maybe blacktop this. I don't know what they did, but see the center line starting to fade. This is kind of a neat picture right there. But we'll come up to a little, there is a bridge that goes onto this island, if you want to call it an island, even though they don't want people to go on it. Well, morning, Lynn. Now this highway up here, if you take this highway, keep going west, you go to my other the other building I take care of, which is out on the edge of town, and that's our distribution building, where we take all the product that we make and we ship it over there, and they box it over there. And I'm gonna stop here for a moment and turn my camera around if I can. Let's see here. It's been a while since I've used this app. There we are. Well, good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm in my tie-dye shirt that I haven't worn since probably when I bought it in 2005. So Swagstock was a festival that me and a friend of mine went to in Missouri, in southern Missouri, and it's a huge piece of land that this band called the Swag, they were a Grateful Dead tribute band, and they owned it, and it used to be a Boy Scout camp, and they turned it into a camping theater, and for 3 days you'd have, oh shoot, well over 100,000 people come and camp and listen to all different kinds of bands. And so yeah, it was fun, and I did that for about, I don't know, 3 years straight. We would take off on Memorial Weekend, me and a friend of mine, and go camping for about 3 days. And so yeah, that was the days. But now I just pretty much work and go home and work and go home. So wow, that's a long time for being away from home. So yeah, but you know, thanks for coming, and we'll see you again. I do have some videos coming up here. I got 2 of them that I got to make, that I was supposed to have made a few days ago, and they are food reviews. And I'm trying to get a little better on my editing, and I'm still learning on this KineMaster of what I can do, and one of them has to do with Japan, so stay tuned for that. And I'm going to turn this thing around if I can. My hand's going to be in the way. Turn around, you. My phone has really been screwing up lately, so okay, I gotta plug in my gimbal before it goes limp on me, because I can see it flashing. Oh shoot, I gotta change my cord. So I'm gonna put you people down for a moment. So I gotta change my cord, so bear with me a moment here. I got the wrong cord in there. I got my cord from my phone and not the cord that I can use for the gimbal. I gotta hurry up before it goes limp on me. My phone really zaps everything. All right, let me pick you back up here. Plug this in. There we go. Now we got that charging. I'll have to hold the charger as well. We're gonna go up to this here bridge, and then we're gonna head back. I gotta get my zipper here on my backpack here. I'm gonna set you back down here for a moment, because I don't want nothing falling out. I know that kind of sounded funny. All right. When I got here, the stupid bee kept bothering me, and I'd swat it away, and it'd come back, and I'd swat it away. And... all right. Yeah. So if you take this road, in fact, it's been in one of my videos. You take this road and you go up around there, and that takes you off to the other building that I take care of. That's where I've been working the most, because I've been painting a lot there. All the doors are going from a white or a blue to a gray color, and I repainted the break room, which I actually got one wall left to do in there, but that one's going to be hard because that's where all the vending food is, and I'm going to have to move all that stuff, and I don't know if I want to. All right, and then this trail, if you keep going that way west, we're looking west. That will take you to Rock Springs Center, and this is a long trail, so there's about 2 bridges that you have to go over. I think it's 2 bridges. So this bridge, they don't want you to have access to go over there. I wouldn't go over there anyway, but yeah, I thought if I could pan down here, I know I'm in the sun, but yeah, I always thought this was pretty cool here. Listening to the water. Of course, back, like I'm gonna say, back in the 80s is when I did everything. Some friends and I used to come out here and we'd play football, and had a fun time out here. They're all pretty much moved away and dealing with their families. Some of them live in other cities here in Illinois. Some of them moved out to other states, and of course, I think one out of them all passed away. So but when we head back up, I'm not going to take that trail. We'll just take the road back up. 42 minutes in. Let me pan this up a little bit. So as you can see, they didn't redo this part right here, and but they did get the bad part. I wish they would have kept going, but maybe when they get more money up, they'll redo this. See if this guy's done going up and down the stairs, and we'll go up the stairs and take a look at the abandoned swimming pool, which I thought was pretty sad that they wanted to close it down just so everybody will go to the water park. Do we have somebody in there? Oh, okay. I try to look at the chat, and then I get to yakking too much, and you know, I really hope they're going to paint that center line, divide this off. They probably won't. Of course, generally the only time I wear a mask is if I'm at work or I go into a store, because you know we have that mask mandate here in Illinois. I think some people are still don't care about this mandate. I've seen them come out of Kroger not wearing a mask. But I think even after this pandemic's over, I think a lot of people are going to keep wearing their masks, because with the flu coming up, it'll prevent you from getting anything else from somebody else. So, and I think people's just gotten so used to wearing it that okay, well, you have a great day, Rachel. Yeah, it probably is too expensive to paint, but I'm sure, so I'll just avoid that area so he can exercise. But my truck's quite a ways from here, so I'm gonna keep going until I reach my truck. And but the leaves aren't changing. They're slowly kind of changing on some trees, but mostly they're just dying. They're not really so much changing. They're just drying up and dropping off. And then you got, I don't know what's going on, but my wife and I have noticed there's a lot of trees dying off in this area. You know, I got that dead tree in my backyard, and I've been seeing a lot of other trees. See, like this one ahead of us is dead, pretty much dead. And but they're just all over the place. I've never seen so many trees dying, and I don't know if it's global warming or what's going on. But up here along this trail, there's a dog park, and you got to pay for your dog to go in there. We found that out by coming over here. Thought we could bring our dog in here, and found that you had to get a hold of the park district and pay them up front, and they give you some kind of a card or something to get in through the gate. Yeah, my next bike's gonna be a road bike. I've been wanting a road bike so bad. The bike I have now is basically a commuter bike, and that thing is heavy. It is heavy, it will tire you out. I mean, if you're looking for a good workout, the bike I have, it's a Trek Navigator 3.0. It's a 2010 edition, and that thing will tire you out. I was working in the south part of town when I bought that. I didn't have a car because our car was hit by a drunk driver, and luckily we were okay because he hit us twice. He came into my lane and he smacked into the side of our vehicle and knocked me sort of out of control, but I didn't panic, and I controlled it, and I had to keep kind of braking every so often, and every time I do, the car kept feeling like it was going faster and faster, and we were getting closer and closer to an intersection. So finally I just put on the brake and held it, and we squalled tires and did a 360 in the middle of the road and stopped facing the opposite direction in the middle of the road. And when we did, here come that same driver and hit us again on the other side. And that's when he stopped, dead stop. So it pretty much traumatized my family. I've been in accidents before, so, but it pretty much, so here's that dog park right here. Looks like they made a new section, because I don't remember this being fenced right here, but I could be wrong. And so yeah, so that was the only car we had. Well, I had two, but the other one, the transmission went out, and so I didn't have a vehicle, so I bought this bike, and that was my way to get around. So, but since then I haven't been riding it, and it sits out in the rain. It's rusting. The tires are bad on it. The brakes are bad. The seat needs to be replaced. The hand grips. So yeah, basically a big overhaul on this bike now. But it wasn't cheap, but it's not going to be cheap to fix it. Yeah, so you can see there's a doggy over there enjoying the park what he can anyway. He's just sitting there looking at me. And I got little things from the run-in. Now I'm actually charging two things at once, and I hope it doesn't zap this thing right here, which is charging my gimbal, which my phone is feeding off the battery on the gimbal. So really both of them are feeding off of this, which is about 2200, well, the capacity is 2200 mAh, but the output is about 1000. So hopefully this will be enough for me to get all the way back to my truck, because my battery's going crap on my phone, and that's another reason why I got to get, well, one of the reasons why I got to get a new phone. Another reason is because there's not enough room. Yeah, the parks really here aren't that packed. I mean, people are just too busy working and I don't know, traveling or whatever. Back in the day, this park was just booming. And then this here is a trail. If you go that way, it takes you off to a road that will take you up to my house. So actually, let me think here. My house is just right over that way. So if you go across this bridge, underneath the train bridge and underneath the car bridge, and then go down a little ways, there's actually a trail that heads back towards my house, but it goes, I think, into some people's yard. So yeah, so my house is just right up there to the right of me. It's a pretty quiet neighborhood at night. When it's quiet, you can hear things for miles. I can hear the train coming from the west for miles. And just the other day I was laying there and I heard 4 gunshots racket through the air, and found out that there was a over by her mom's house, there was gunplay over there. And so I'm like, wow, it's starting to get a little too close to my house. But out this way you got farms, so we always hear farmers shooting their guns. I don't know if they're hunting for deer or what they're doing, but you always hear shotguns going off. When we get to the top of this hill, you'll see that bridge that I went over earlier. Just basically a big circle. This time I'm taking the road instead of the trail. I get my walk in today. And then I gotta mow when I get home, so I'll get more walking in. And hopefully after today, my grass will start growing a little slower, because we do have some cooler temperatures coming. So here's that bridge that I walked over earlier. That's I mean, it's been there for a while, but it's newer than what was there before. They put a better one up there. Wow. My backyard grows faster than the front, so the last time I mowed was about a week ago. And I didn't mow the front, just the back, and now I'm gonna have to do both sides because it's starting to seed out in the front. All right, let's cross the road here. You know, they talk about global warming all the time. Well, if we wouldn't have had so many satellites swarming around this planet, global warming wouldn't be happening. It ain't just because of the people. It's because of what they keep putting out in outer space. If everybody knew how many satellites were surrounding this globe, then you'd understand. Because there's thousands of space junk up there. And then of course there's a little rose garden right there. Of course there's no roses growing, but most of the flowers are gone. There's a few. I think those are tea roses right there. Yeah, they're perennial gardens. See, all these signs that you see, they're all brand new. They weren't there before. So they haven't fully forgotten this park yet. And as you can see, right next to a neighborhood with really nice homes. There's actually a house, of course, in the middle of that area, where there's actually mansions in the middle of this area over here. And one of them is the I forgot his name now. Well, the person who had that house built was actually the guy who invented the fly swatter. And I can't remember what else the guy did to become as rich as he was. And Montgomery, the Montgomery mansion. But this guy I hung around with, and well, he wasn't from my school. I met him through somebody else. His father was a doctor, and he bought that house. That house is huge. I've only been in a part of it. And down in the basement, there is another room off of that basement where he has a cellar full of expensive wines. And he had a one-car garage off of that basement that has a sports car that has monogram seats on it. And it said on the seat, "Especially made for the white knight." And this doctor also owns a warehouse in California full of antique vehicles. And one of the vehicles had belonged to Ayatollah Khomeini at one time. Let's see here. And we used to get yeah. Does anybody else come in? It says I got 2 footbridge. Yep. Yeah, there's all kinds of footbridges in this park, especially on the trail, because you know a lot of the trail goes right over the well, I call it a creek, but the waterways that they really should clean up, but that's going to take millions of dollars to send people over here to do that. They have been trying to cut down some of the rotten trees that are dying, like right there, and then they planted a new tree right there and surrounded it with some black rock and a little statue of an angel. I don't know what that's about unless somebody paid to have that done. I got the sun right in my eyes. It's hard for me to see that screen. Of course, we're back to the Dreamland Lake, and yeah, this park has been here a very, very long time. We used to have, I never got to see him. I moved here in this town in 1973, 4, something like that. I was only about 4 years old, and they used to have bears, sun bears, in this park. I'm not sure quite where they were at, but I never got to see them. They moved them by the time that I think we moved here. And way off up that way, they used to have a Lincoln courthouse made out of logs. Well, it was getting vandalized a lot, so they finally they numbered all the logs, took it apart, and there's an area over by the airport which I wanted to go and film, but they weren't holding any functions there for a while, probably due to the pandemic or something. And so everything that was built back in the Lincoln era are sitting in that little area. So you see my truck way over there. Looks like we got a soccer game going on over there. You can see that. I don't know if you can see that. And then back in the 80s, I'm gonna keep saying that, we used to have, right at the end of school year, we had a thing called Fun Fair, and this parking lot right here was full of rides, and then in the grass all along out there they had like booths, food, and games and all. This was put on by the St. Mary's Hospital, and I used to come here every year after school, and I can't remember the year that they had stopped it, but it was pretty fun. We'll walk up this way a little bit. I've been on for, how long have I been on? Just slightly over an hour. So yeah, that walk took about an hour. So we'll come up here and check out this soccer game. And there could be some Millikan students doing it. Yeah, everything I pretty much did in this town I did in the 80s. So, and then the 90s came up, and well, actually the end of the 80s I was out of this town for a while. I lived in southern Illinois for about 3 months. I lived in northern Illinois for about 3 years, and then I finally moved back to this town in the early 90s, and then 92 Debbie and I got married. So yeah, right. I know what you mean. Yeah, it tires me out too. So I'm glad they're all having fun. Well, morning, Ken. Glad you can make it. And And then of course this thing right here is the last fountain ever built in this park. And of course I'm sure it's all turned off because of COVID. And here, let me pan down here. So yeah, this is the last one. And whew. And then of course you got this pavilion up here, and way over there is a skate park that's been there for, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna say 20 years. And then this here is the main restroom. This side is the men's, and yeah, it's got that park bathroom smell of that grape. I can't stand that smell. Grape and piss. And of course you got a baseball field here, and they actually totally redid this because those stands used to not be there. And then of course the sidewalk up to it's new. And now we'll walk up here to the big pavilion. Now this pavilion gets used for, of course, a lot of things. But back before they built the Civic Center here in town, this is where you used to ice skate in the winter time. And I'll show you they would put up wooden walls all around this and then ice that floor. And getting out of the sun here. So as you can see how big this place is, and all the picnic tables that line this. So when this thing was a skating rink, you'll see, let me pan down here, this right here is a metal frame, goes all the way around this pavilion. So they would take these wooden panels, and they would set them onto here to block this off, so that way you had to pay to come in here and skate. Yeah, well, it's probably warmer than where you're at. Right now it's probably in the high 50 Fahrenheit, and right now I'm sweating from all the walking, but yeah, this is where you used to skate back in the day. Now you got to go to the Civic Center and do it. And they redid this roof. I'm really glad they just didn't knock this place down. My job used to rent this place out before the pandemic, and this is where we would have our summer picnic at for my job. And what we got here? We got a new person. Yeah, so, but we do have warmer weather coming in the days. I think it's supposed to get up back in the 80s again, and then start cooling back down again. So it's been kind of a roller coaster year, and I don't think it's supposed to hit the 90s anymore. But yeah, it's been fun. I need to put this charger in my pocket. I'm tired of holding it. And then of course you have a little playground here, and that's been here for eons that I know of. It's always been there. They just kind of upgraded it from what it used to be. And actually back in the Civil War, this ground used to be used to house the soldiers back in the Civil War time. Yeah, Decatur used to have a claim for the Civil War for the Union soldiers. So yeah, they even Millikan University, they, oh shoot, well, there went my gimbal. Well, shoot. Anyway, now I got to hold it. Darn it. I'm probably going to end this live stream here because I don't want to have to hold this thing. It's going to be bumpy. So yeah, we were, let me turn this around. Oh, my my gimbal went, and yeah, wasn't that fun? So, you know, like I said, you got my phone charging off the gimbal, you got my gimbal charging off this little charger I got, and it can't keep up the two things. And even though I'm down to 87% on the phone, on my phone. So yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody for showing up, and I'm usually on just for about an hour, even though I went almost 10 minutes over. So I'm just going to end the live stream here because I don't want to have to hold this thing and look silly. And I thank each and every one of you that did show up, and the ones that may have been watching and didn't say a word. So I got videos coming, so stay tuned for those, and because they're going to be fun and some things I've never had before. And Dixie Cups outlawed, really. So anyway, thank you, and I will catch you again hopefully next Saturday. Until then, take care, guys.